Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Moina Bass Fishes, and I am professional bass fisherman Jim Moina. In this video, I'm going to share with you an observation I've had. Okay, this has to do with Great Lakes smallmouth fishing, and particularly of note, Lake St. Clair, which is where I just was. So, because I took such a drubbing by the field of fishermen, and I struggled mightily to catch smallmouths out of Lake St. Clair, it was of high interest for me to review the article on Bassmaster.com, where usually after most tournaments they have an article where they review the baits used by the top 10 anglers. So each of the top 10 anglers shares with the viewers some of the baits that they use to achieve their top 10 finish. So I had to, it was a top priority of mine to review this article. And in the process, a couple things stood out. And there was no mention. This is not something that was mentioned. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this video, this was not even mentioned. And that is those fishermen that use their drop shot. There's no mention with any of the anglers about the length of their leader from their sinker to their hook. However, what I noticed in every case, in every instance, in every photo that was presented, the leader length was extremely long, way longer than what I used. And I'm talking like 2 feet long leaders. Is this a coincidence, or is this a variable that can affect how many smallmouths you catch? Now, the longest leader I used was 14 inches. And for me, that is a long leader. I've always been running mine on the shorter side. That's what I do. Whether I'm fishing spotted bass, smallmouth, largemouth, I'm usually under like 8 inches, and sometimes like 4 or 5 inches. So in this tournament, I did experiment with some longer leaders, but never more than 14 inches. And what I saw on that article on Bassmaster.com, I saw leaders that were like 2 feet long. It looked like the guy that won, Jay Shakira. That leader's like way long. Take a look at the pictures. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, moreover, this brings me back to a tournament a couple years ago in the MLF league. It was back during COVID when they held what they called super tournaments. And this super tournament was out of Sandusky Bay on Lake Erie. The winner, Justin Lucas, he caught him drop shotting. I also caught mine drop shotting, and I used a smaller leader, but I made a top 10 using a 7-inch leader for the most part. However, the winner, Justin Lucas, I looked at every one of his rods, and they're all rigged with extremely long drop shot leaders. So the question is an extremely long drop shot leader one of the variables that we can control that is going to give you more bites over the long run? This is not something I've read about. This is not something I hear about. Is this something that pros are keeping to themselves and not sharing with the rest of us? I would like to know. Now, that is the whole point of this video. However, there's one other observation I made from the article and the pictures on the Bassmaster.com article, and that is all the baits were of a shad or shiner kind of a variety. whether it was on a jig head or whether it was on a drop shot. The shape, the coloration was generally, even though a lot of those smallmouths were eating yellow perch, and I know that because some of the ones I caught actually spit up yellow perch. In fact, I had one smallmouth catch. He spit up 2 yellow perch, and those yellow perch were both alive still. Not much, but they were both alive. So even though they were spitting up yellow perch, and there were a lot of yellow perch in Anchor Bay, a lot of the presentations I saw in the top 10 were of shiner, shaddy kind of colorations, whatever that's worth. So that's all I wanted to point out in this video. Is that leader length, is that extra long leader one of those not discussed, not talked about factors that makes a difference? Over.